My fellow Jedi, what is going on, y'all? Your dude Sly here, and thanks for coming back and watching another Sly Nation Fallen Order video. While I live for single-player, narrative-driven games like Fallen Order, they are much harder to make videos on when compared to other games like Destiny or The Division, etc. However, there are a handful of puzzles within the game that are pretty easy to solve if you take your time, but I've seen a few articles online talking about how hard some of these puzzles were, so I thought I would take that opportunity to post a couple of puzzle guides just in case some of you out there need a little help getting past them. So with that, let's begin. Our first puzzle guide will take us inside the tomb on Zeffo, the tomb of Eilram, and we'll start at the first puzzle space where a secret lies beneath the floor. Now once you hit the ice slide for the first time, you're going to enter this space where strong winds are ripping through the outsides, pushing things across the room. In fact, if you're low on health, just walk into the stream of wind and stay there. The group of rats that are in there can actually be killed if you stay inside that little wind wall. They'll try to get to you and end up being swept away, taking damage as they hit the wall or the ground behind you. And after a few tries of getting to you, they kill themselves. That's a good way to stay alive if you're low on stims and health. So for this first room, guys, start by smashing 2 holes in the wall using the Zeffo core and the wind. You're going to see 2 places that have kind of these black bars that are held together by rock. These are the things I'm talking about. There's a force sense item behind one of these and another door behind the second one in which you can use to push the ball in another direction. So to do this, guys, simply get the ball rolling by opening this door on the right hand side of the map. But as the ball rounds a corner, you want to then shut it off. Once it gets here, it's going to smash the wall, allowing you to get inside of it. Touch the object and then head back out to open the next door, pushing the ball in the next direction, which will then smash open the next wall. Be sure to leave this wind valve open. Now walk over to the newly smashed wall, and behind here there is another door or wind valve. Go ahead and open that one. This will cause the ball to get stuck kind of in the middle of the room by 2 winds pushing from opposite directions. Once the ball is in the middle, staying relatively still, open the middle wind valve or the middle door, and then this will push the ball into the central socket, which opens the secret below the floor. Just about everything dealing with the Zeffo seem to use these energy cores. Smaller ones are actually found inside the Tomb Guardians as well. So grab the secret and then head deeper inside the tomb. Next, you're going to come across the main puzzle space. Now this first area is pretty easy. Use the wind valve to get the ball to swing, and then use force slow to stop it. Jump on, then jump off when slow dissolves, and you'll swing over to the other side. So once you get here, the first part, all you have to do is use the valve to insert the ball into the first socket, which will open up the path. Follow this to not only get some awesome scannables, but new force skill as well, which is going to be push. This will eventually lead you back to the main puzzle space and where most people need help. So to beat this area, first get rid of the Tomb Guardian. Now the best way to do this is to use your newly acquired move. Once the Guardian winds up to do a powerful attack, you'll notice the power core in its chest start to glow and spin really fast. Use push at this exact moment. This will push the orb out of its chest, allowing you to stun it and strike it down as a kind of weak point. Once you take care of it, hop back up to where the meditation circle is. This time run across to the wall where the pendulum power core is at, the one you used to get to this space to begin with. This time position yourself between the power core and the broken wall ahead of you. Use your push so you can break it open, freeing the core, which will then drop to the ground. Then jump on down, use push to break the rest of the wall, and then insert the power core into the lower socket in this room. This will then raise parts of the floor and activate a wind tunnel. Now there's a little secret to this area too. Before you do anything else, use push on the power core that you just inserted, and then once it's out of the lower socket, use slow on it to keep it from rolling back into place. This will then lower a piece of the floor. Head over and jump on top of that lowered piece. Once the slow dissolves, it will end up rolling back into place, into the socket, lifting you back up, and you'll get a chest as well as a force object, which is a huge chunk of XP. Whenever you're done up there, go ahead and slide on back down, and then let's get to the next part. So now that the lower core is in place, you now need to open the door so you can get the third one. Take the very first power core located by the wind valve, the very first one you used in this area, and then force push it down the ramp and into the wind chute on the left hand side. This will kind of launch the core up to the next level. Once it's up here, it'll get stuck in this kind of like divot in the ground. Jump on up there and then force push it into place, which is going to be the socket right next to it. Okay, so now you have 2 power cores in place, which opens the door right behind the area where the Tomb Guardian was, well, guarding. Head on inside and then climb your way up. Once you see the next power core, crawl your way through the narrow set of tunnels until you can actually reach it. Then once you're next to it, force push it through the wall and have it crash down below. So once you make your way down, push your power core back into the same wind chute. Since you have 2 cores already in their sockets, this not only opens the door, freeing the 3rd core, but it also opens up a 2nd wind chute and another ramp. And here is where things get a little tricky. These 2 ramps are now connected, and once the 3rd power core is in motion, it will just keep flying from ramp to ramp. If you watch it long enough, you'll notice that there's 2 wind tunnels and 2 ramps, and it just keeps making a circle passing by both of them. Now, like I said, this was the tricky part. So climb up to the next socket, which is the one located right here, and stand as you see on screen. Look towards the ramp on your left-hand side and wait for the power core to be blasted up your way. Once it gets relatively close, use force slow, then quickly cross over looking back towards the socket, and then you want to use force push before the slow dissolves away. If you froze it at just the right place, it'll launch the core into the socket, and ta-da! Congrats, my friends, the exit is right up in front of you. Now, it's not really that hard of a puzzle, but if you're doing it by yourself and you haven't looked up any hints, or you're not taking hints from BD, it does take a few trial and errors, especially if you're just getting used to your new abilities. But yeah, that's it, my friends. Oh, just as a quick heads up, before going into the space, there was a bunch of those angry space goats, which by the way are my nemesis. However, there is this weird achievement to kick a goat that's kicked you, and one of these guys are perfect since you're in a wide open area. So trying to separate one of them out, as taking on 3 of these dudes will more than likely lead to your death. Be sure, first and foremost, to have the skill unlocked where you can do an offensive kick immediately after dodging. To get this to actually work, you need to be close to an animal when you dodge, or close to an enemy when you dodge. If you do care about triumphs, just keep trying. There's a save point literally feet from where you're at. So if you end up dying, this is why it's such a great place to try it out before you enter the tomb. All you have to do to get this achievement is let the goat kick you, but you have to get behind him, which is easier said than done. So as he rams towards you and he stuns himself on like the rock or something, you want to dodge behind him. He'll eventually kick you. Once that happens, you then have to use your kick maneuver, which is dodge then the attack button. But you have to be really close in order to proc it. So dodge, attack, and eventually once it procs and you kick it, you will then earn this achievement. Now it took me forever to get this because for some reason the proccing of kicking the actual enemy doesn't happen very often for some reason. You have to be relatively close. But this area is perfect because of how wide open it is, and there's not a lot of other enemies around here. So I figured this would be the best place to try and get this done. So yeah, that's it, ladies and gents. As always, thank you for watching another Sly Nation Fallen Order video. I wish this game had more stuff to do, as I'm kind of not ready to say goodbye to it yet, but I guess that's the issue with single-player narrative games, right? All those hours to build this game, all the years of hard work for like 1 or 2 20-hour playthroughs. I can see why most companies want a live game service, as it gives gamers not only more to do, but paid assets can be used for much longer than just 1 or 2 playthroughs. Either way though, this game is simply fantastic, and it shows why single-player games are far from dead. But I'm out of here, y'all. Thank you all so much for not only your support, but for watching my content. Spank the thumbs up or down if you liked, hated, or loved the video, and subscribe for plenty more gaming guides and reviews coming out of Sly Nation in the very near future. But until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all in the next one.